So there's this sort of empty void, this nothingness that people in the schizoid community talk about. And I do experience that myself. And I wanted to share my thoughts about it. I've been thinking about it lately. So for me, you know, I touched on this a little bit in my previous video, but it does exist as a baseline. It's always there. And it just depends on how you have your day set up and what you're doing that it'll kind of affect you to varying degrees depending on what you got going on. And the the thing I've noticed as I've been paying a lot closer attention to myself, to the little nuances, my actions, the things I do, how things affect me. And I've been doing that primarily because, I'm married. And so I sort of want to figure things out and try to be better, you know, show up a little better in my marriage. And as I've been observing these things, what I notice, and I touched on this on my prior video, is that whenever you have an intention, it's between that intention and the action, this sort of third step, that the nothing, the nothingness seems to be at its greatest difficulty. It shows itself more there. Kind of what I'm saying. Um, so whenever like I intend to do something, between that intent and the action, there's kind of like this just black wall. It's hard to explain, but if I had to kind of give a picture of what that looks like, it would be like if you were looking out into the sky and say it's nighttime and there's no stars, so it's just pitch black. That pitch black empty space, that's what it's like in between the intention and the action of what you want to do. So you intend to do something, and right there, after that intent to do it, before as you start to take that step to doing that action that you intend to do, you kind of get stuck. There's like this weird empty nothingness. And it's almost like you can't see that action anymore. Like you understand it. You cognitively grasp what it is you want to do, but that energy, that desire, the whatever it is, the fuel you need to do that action, it's just not there. And all that is in its place is this empty void, this empty nothingness. And it's the most difficult thing to get past, it's so hard unless you're experiencing it yourself. It's really hard to put into words. And so even though you're kind of always in that kind of baseline of just, man, whatever, no real connection. It's when you try to do something where you can really feel it at its most, and it really amplifies between that intention and that action, that third step between intent and action, that nothingness really gets amplified. And you can really feel the weight of that difficulty to try to do that said thing. And, for myself, it's become a lot more apparent because I believe environment is a huge part of it all. If you're setting up systems in place like a schedule, you know what you're going to be doing throughout the day, and you have a lot of things set up where you don't really have to think about things. It's kind of seamless, which is why I think for schizoid schedules are so important because it makes your day seamless. There's no unseen things, there's no unexpected situations that you have to think about. Kind of just really go through the motions, right? And because you're just going through the motions, you don't it's not as impactful, that nothingness. You can deal with it and get through it. But, in my situation where I'm married, I don't have any control over my environment. I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't plan on doing that I end up having to do. And between that intention to do that thing, that action that I'm intending to do, that nothingness gets amplified so greatly. It's like I can't see past it. I mean, I would even say it's painful. Um, not painful in a different way. It's painful like in I mean, I guess the only picture I could really paint is if you were to think about somebody who's extremely depressed and suicidal, and they're standing at the end of a bridge or something, and there's just nothing, no hope, no nothing, no desire, no excitement, no happiness, nothing. It's kind of like that, except I'm not depressed. I don't have any I don't have any of those depressive, suicidal things at all. But if you could just imagine concept like what that looks like, it's kind of like that. Um, that nothingness just really makes that intended action very, very hard to not only see but execute. So, that's how it's for me. That's what it's like, this whole empty void, this nothingness. That's what it's like for me in my life. And I'm curious, I was thinking about it. I'm curious like what it's like for other people, for the rest of the schizoids out there. What is it like for you? I'd be curious if you could comment in the comment section so I could know what it's like for everybody else. I'm curious if it's the same as mine, if it's similar in some way, or maybe it's completely different. I'd be curious to know. But that's all I got for you. I'm gonna My next video will probably be something on environment and how important that is. So I'll be putting that out sometime soon. But thank you for your time. Appreciate it.